and I was chilling, and I was just like recording anyway. It was radio, and I was like, I should just go live, but I have a confession to make. I was also a little spooked. I haven't felt spooked in a long time, but sometimes things just feel very intensely spiritual, and I feel like because I was so afraid of everything spiritual that I would just like ignore it. But in ignoring it, you ignore for me at least, I was ignoring so many parts of myself. So now I don't ignore it because like once you are like awake, it's hard to like go back, if that makes sense. I had a really intense year. I have a very intense life, but I had a very intense year, and I had this moment at Coachella where it was just very intense for me to be there, because I've pretty fucked up social anxiety, and then everybody was kind of not socialized because of the pandemic, and then I just also had like kind of agoraphobia. Like I was like afraid to go into public and shit, and just was honestly just afraid to go in public, like even just of humiliation, like being afraid that somebody would like take a video of me to like make fun of me, or like if I was having a bad day and like wasn't overly polite to someone or perceived in any way like not friendly or kind, that it would be like a new thing on the internet. So it was scary to go to Coachella, where it was like LA basically. And I don't know, like just afraid that, but I wasn't afraid, that's the thing. That's why I was so proud of myself for going, because I think that not that long prior, I probably would have been afraid to go, because I would be afraid that somebody would like record me dancing, and that, or something, or just in another way, being a way that they could make fun of, or just film me and make fun of my outfit, or just like come up to me and like take like an Instagram story or something making fun of me, or like saying a meme, just like whatever. But I went to Coachella, and everybody was actually really kind and wonderful, and I feel like that was a big moment of I think spiritual growth and healing. And I got really overwhelmed, and I got lost, and I was high with a stranger for a really long time, and it got really confusing. And then man, when you start like opening your eyes to shit and really like accepting some truths of the universe, it's like hard to unsee. And then like you just see more and more, and you're like, oh my god, the world is burning. Anyway, my friend came up to me, and he was just like, it's okay. Like, I just met this person actually, but now he's a friend. He was like the only person in my group that was like able to find me, like between like the service there, and just like everyone just kind of like being on drugs and roaming around, like, and I didn't really know these people, like it wasn't their job to keep tabs on me or come find me, but this one guy did, and he just came over and he was like, don't be scared, you're waking up. And I literally felt like I was like in a twilight zone. I go in and out of feeling like I'm in a twilight zone. Hi, Fred. I wonder if he's responding right now to the plane or like a bug or something, because he's definitely tracking something. Oh my god, that was another thing. I figured out, or I don't know if, I guess I've probably always had it to some degree. I used to tell story times about like these really visual dreams that would then like in some way come true, or just like the stuff that I would picture in my mind when I would like close my eyes in between like sleep and awake, which I'm now learning is basically meditation and just like being able to visualize really easy, have a really active imagination. But also part of it is synesthesia. So I would see these like really bright tunnels of like different lights and colors, and it felt very like cosmic, and I was kind of scared of it because I was like, what the fuck is this? And then one day, as I was like kind of just absorbing it, a plane flew by, like how it just did, really, and I like, it was blue dots is what I was kind of experiencing, and they start tunneling. Normally when I would see this in the past like year, I would like freak out because I was like, oh my god, am I like astral projecting or something? Like I don't want to do that. So then I would like freak out and not really absorb it. But this time I did it downstairs and I was able to like hear a plane. Now I'm getting sketched out by sounds. So I'm telling you, like, when you're just like, I just believe in spiritual shit. And like, it's so confusing and interesting how certain organized religions and spirituality felt so detached, at least the way I experienced it. And I'm sure that I have like an experience unlike a lot of people, but I think that a lot of people share my experience too, where people are sort of like teaching, like I'm raised Christian, Catholic Christian, but we're learning Christianity from people who don't even really quite understand Christianity, because Christianity and any type of spirituality is like a deeply felt thing in your soul, and not a lot of people, maybe a lot of people, but not everybody like kind of wakes up, sort of. Like it takes so much healing from like mental trauma and shit to get to that point. I feel like we aren't allowed the space to do it. I was in such a unique circumstance. Fred eats the fake leaves, but he doesn't eat them, but he rips them off the tree and then just plays with them. It's great. They've gotten really great at entertaining themselves, which is cool. Because waving that little fucking wormy or that feather around gets real fucking boring. So when they're just... I love when they find ways to entertain themselves without me fucking waving that little feather. Because, oh my god. It's cute for... I mean, it's just like maintenance of a pet. Like, not everything with any relationship, including with a pet, is awesome all the time. Like, it takes work. But if you don't fucking wave that little feather around, they'll shit on your countertops. Or they'll beat each other up. Today, Radio had a little scratch in her ear. I'm sad because it means that they must have been fighting. My favorite thing Fred does is before he pounces, like right now he's playing with this leaf. I'm way too lazy to turn this around. I feel like the setup is just good, you know what I mean? He's playing with this little leaf, and he's the one placing it and throwing it. He knows it's not alive, so like, he must be aware he's playing as well. But before he attacks it, he goes like this. Why does he do that? The getting ready to pounce. It's not moving. It's right where you put it, Fred. I love having cats. I'm definitely closer with Fred because here's what I found. The synesthesia, a plane flew by and like red disrupted the blue, and I figured out that it was the sound that I was seeing. But Fred has a higher sound tolerance, I think. Because like as soon as I start talking, radio's gone. So if I'm like filming or working or on a call or like a meeting, or if I'm like consuming any type of like media, she does not want to be around. If I'm wearing headphones or otherwise just sitting, she comes around. Which is the universe / God's divine perfect way of making me sit and be still and silent too, because I feel way too guilty not having a relationship with radio the way I do with Fred. Because Fred and I are pretty tight. Like, we have our ups and downs, like depending on if I'm like busy and he's feeling neglected. But like right now we're so solid and we always get right back in the groove of things where like we're so cuddly. I remember a friend told me about her dogs once. She was like saying how her relationship with her dog is like, you know, like you always have highs and lows. I'm like, really? With a pet? Like, is that how that works? And now I have pets and I'm like, yeah, that is how that works. Because like sometimes I can't put time into that relationship the way I need to be, and it shows. in our relationship. The thing with animals is they'll just like let you know because they're not conditioned by society to be people pleasers and want a relationship and have a certain thing by a certain time. You know what I mean? So like they'll just let you know how they feel. People don't let you know how they feel, and I take people's word. Like if I ask you if you're good and you don't tell me, like I take you at your word. And like I can sense when something's wrong. Like people, when they're not happy, it shows. Like they let you know in other ways. But then if it's like, can I help? And they're like, everything's great. Well, I can't help you then. I'm just gonna keep going about our fucking life as if everything's good. I love my hair so much right now. I used a product that I used to use all the time when I first went blonde. And then I don't know why I stopped using it. I must have just gotten over it. Oh, I remember. Because when I started washing my hair regularly again, because I used to like not wash my hair because I was like worried about the color. Oh my God. I just remembered a time at MTV when they were like, you have to wash your hair. So now like when I'm mega famous, like there's going to be that story like underground of like one time I washed her hair and it was so gross. It was. Oh my God, 333 viewers. Cute. I love that. The reason me and the internet have always gotten along so well in the past is because sometimes I just need to fucking rant. And I like to get it all out on camera or online or like in some type of content or live stream. I get all like the manic ranting out and then I go hang out in person and I'm chill and cool because I already got it all out. But then when I stop sharing on the internet, I just talk a lot. Sneak peek of Stoneheart. I'm way too lazy to pull out a device right now, but I'll be singing it on 7/27, and also it's on my album on 7/22. So go pre-save my album now. Now I'm like so hyper aware of like, guys, remember? Okay, I just had a realization. I used to always talk about like ghosty shit and like dreams and being psychic, and then I started feeling crazy because everybody was calling me crazy. So then I was like, wow, I really can't talk about these things because like they'll make me feel even more crazy. So then I convinced myself that I was crazy or was ignoring it altogether. And now talking about it now, I feel like everyone feels like I'm crazy. But nobody really thought I was crazy when I was telling story times about it. Sometimes I feel like people who've known me my whole life make me feel crazy, but it's like, but you know that we've experienced ghosts together. Oh no. I don't ever want to meet a ghost though. Ever. Scary. I feel protected from ghosts. I feel like I understand religion for literally the first time in my life. Because I'm like, what does that mean? Because I guess, I don't know. Like, religion never felt spiritual to me. At all. But like, I don't know. I did a thing on TikTok about how Jesus Christ was made so corny, and being able to view Jesus Christ as a person, like just take everything else aside, because there's no debate whether or not Jesus Christ, born in Galilee, was a human being that existed. And man, it just sucks that like people don't really have anything to say. Well, actually, I don't know. Do people have bad things to say about Jesus? I'm sure like in other religions, Jesus is seen as something not great, right? Gotta be. I've never asked another religion what their opinion on Jesus. Well, I guess a lot of it is just like, oh, you believe like this man died and then rose from the dead and ascended into the sky. I guess I never really questioned any of that stuff because that aspect of it didn't even really matter to me as much as like the lessons we were supposed to be learning. But then I was like, okay, what are the lessons that Jesus Christ, the teacher, the civil rights leader, the radical hippie, what was he saying versus what did the people who murdered him and then exploited him for centuries and centuries and centuries and centuries say, he said. And there's a difference. And I feel bad that Jesus Christ, the person, the spiritual leader, the, you know, whatever you believe he was, I feel like he's been slandered and used and exploited all these years. And I think he's sick of it. So, I don't know. I want to help. I feel like a big part of maybe not, I think for me, legacy is really important. So I hate hearing awesome people still so like slandered or twisted. Like, I hate when people are misunderstood, and I feel like Jesus Christ was so misunderstood and is so misunderstood. Like, he was just like a Middle Eastern guy living like a pretty normal life. Like, he was poor, you know. He's just like a humble guy in Galilee, and he was just like peace or whatever. And the way I see like the stories of miracles, first of all, I fully believe in miracles. Like, I experience miracles all day. I experienced miracles all day today. So like, did Jesus physically turn water into wine? I literally have no idea. I don't care that much. Like, to me, that is still, like, it could be a metaphor for so many things. Like prayer in Judaism is written as poetry. Like, if I'm reading the Bible as poetry and metaphors, like, or also maybe God did appear to somebody in a burning bush, because I've had dreams and experiences, and I feel like I've looked into flames or light sources or artwork or the sky and been able to like kind of tap into something, you know, in your imagination, in your mind, in your consciousness, where you're supposed to be connecting to something. Like, but I believe that there's a lot more to life than this life. I believe that this is like a little trip, which is really comforting and amazing. And people say that people cling on to religion for comfort, but it's comfortable because it's founded in, I believe, truth. So there's just too much shit that is too perfect to look at and say this is an accident. And when you just like have faith and really believe in shit, it really does come true. When you scroll past those motivational quotes that are like, it's your mindset, you literally can make whatever reality yours. Like, that shit is real. And we're kind of supposed to. I think the simulation theory, or God, or that we're in like pods, or we're creating our own reality from virtual whatever, it's all just like metaphors or like imagery for what I believe is actually happening. I think that like we have a consciousness or a soul or a spirit or a controller that's like, okay, I want this test. Because life is full of tests. And when you start passing the test, like, life gets so much better. It's just about like learning lessons and then like leveling up. And like, I think what it really comes back to is people are just supposed to create community and like family and friendship and help each other and just enjoy the planet. Like, I think it's really was just here to enjoy. And it's like, yeah, I want to go do that. And maybe it's like Squid Games, I'm pretty sure, and if this is like an obvious thing and everyone's like, yeah, of course, and then embarrassing, but I feel like Squid Games was literally just what they probably see life as. Like, these people that they're put in this situation and they're like, you can get out right now and go back to your miserable life, or I feel like hell is some type of purgatory, actually. And I believe that heaven and hell are both created on earth, and it is a mindset, and it is your choices. Because there's people who have absolutely nothing and are still so peaceful and happy and have a smile on their every day on their face. And there's people who have everything who are miserable, and I've been both. So like, heaven and hell are on earth, and it is in your mind. Like, video games are just our version of what's happening to us. It's cool. Kind of embarrassing to think, like, if you do believe that your Jesus, your spirit guides, your ancestors, God, the aliens can all watch, and they're all watching us, like the Truman Show or the Gabbie Show. They see all the embarrassing shit, just like you do in The Sims. Like, they watch it all. Creepy. But I like to think that it literally does not matter to them, because it can't possibly. I don't think anything that earthly matters, or like, I don't think that like shame and humiliation exists once you reach that level. I think you're just sort of like, yep, we're all humans and we all did that. My spirituality journey went from feeling very close to my guardian angel and God as a kid. Didn't really understand Jesus, to be honest. But I was like, okay, God is good and Jesus is God's son or whatever. So like, we like Jesus. But I didn't connect to it. I feel like I connected with Mary a lot. And then just being like, what the fuck is this? Like, I don't understand, and this feels kind of phony. And then just avoiding it completely because I knew there was something to it, but I didn't want to face all of the like trauma and questions, and basically I knew it would just like lead to like some wild shit. Like, when you start thinking about the idea of hell, which is how I was raised, then the idea of hell for me was fucking terrifying, because it also came with all of these rules of the religion that I was in that was like, it was just like, it seemed too impossible. It was like, and it was so not fun. I truly believe that God wants us to have fun, and like safe, fun, kind fun that doesn't hurt anybody, including ourselves, emotionally, physically, mentally, fun. I don't think it's supposed to be like torturous to worship and feel like a chore in that way to worship. Like, to me, I feel worship and closest to God when I'm creating art, breathing, meditating, and I think that church would probably help me, and I think I'll probably start going back to church at some point, but I don't know what kind of church. I think the community would be nice, and I think meeting people like who are like-minded would be nice, but I haven't really met anybody. I haven't been to really any churches in LA. I'm trying to think if I ever have. Maybe once. But yeah, yeah. Maybe I'll start going to church. Maybe I'll go this weekend. That'd be fun. Yeah, I'm gonna start going to church. I feel like I am Dustin Tyler. I'm gonna see if that's someone I want to go to church with. Hold on. Should I go live?